calling the office of Congressman Mike Garcia. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It's 3:30.
Please leave a message and someone from our office will return your call. Thank you and have a nice day.
Hi, my name is Dara. I was just calling because I wanted to report irregularities in my period. I've also been having cramping during ovulation, and I just figured that Mr. Garcia would be interested in all of this because he supports the Life at Conception Act. And I don't know if he's a board-certified gynecologist. Like, I really have no idea, but I assume if he supports this act, he has a lot of knowledge. And I don't know if I should be concerned or not. So I was hoping maybe someone can get back to me, specifically Mike Garcia, so we can discuss my my menstrual cycle and my ovulation cramps. Thank you.
I love it so much. Dara there, rightly mocking the idea that any of this should be the business, let alone the area of responsibility of people like Mike Garcia, that your congressperson should be voting on whether you get to control your body or not. And remember, that's not just actually the law of the land in an increasing part of the US, but they're advocating to expand it. People like Dr. Oz and others saying, no, your local elected officials should be consulting with you on whether you should be allowed to get an abortion. We talked about those rape panels. Like, okay, so you say you were raped, but we're gonna have a couple of local guys who probably like run like used car dealerships and now they're county officials. They're gonna be deciding if it's a good enough rape for you to be able to get an abortion. I love people like Dara Faye turning that around on them and mocking them for their ridiculous positions.
Yeah, I saw when she posted this. I thought it was great. I retweeted it and everything. It was perfectly well done. And the thing is I always wonder who, once they hear this, whoever caught the message, are they thinking, yeah, she's making a lot of sense, but let's just ignore it. Or I never thought of it that way. I just wonder, people who don't see that obvious fact that you can talk about how you want to control women's lives, but you don't want to control their lives when it comes to that aspect, because it gets a little bit too graphic for you. If anybody who didn't consider the reality went, yeah, that's a really good point, because it can't be more explicit than that. Or why is that the line that's drawn if you don't think it's a good point? Where's that line drawn, and why is Mark Garcia the one that gets to decide this stuff?
Yep. By the way, as of right now, we don't know what's gonna end up happening in his race. It's a toss-up, but he is currently leading over, notably, Christy Smith, who, if you've been following the Young Turks for some time, has a bit of a history with one member of our staff. But he might well end up still being a congressman. It isn't that great. By the way, Basil just reminded me, like, we've heard claims about perfect phone calls in the past. So that was a perfect call. Couldn't have been better. 2 thumbs up. By the way, I did want to use this story as an opportunity to remind you that in addition to all of the other great results from the midterms last night, Kentucky voters rejected a proposed amendment that said a constitutional right to an abortion does not exist in the state. So that's good news in a very red state. In Michigan, voters approved a constitutional amendment to create a right to reproductive freedom, including protecting abortion access in the state. In California, there's already a law protecting abortion before viability. We now have a state constitutional amendment saying that people have a fundamental right to choose to have an abortion. And in Vermont, they passed the amendment stating that an individual's right to personal reproductive autonomy is central to the liberty and dignity to determine one's own life course and shall not be denied or infringed. So basically everywhere in the country where the voters got to weigh in on abortion, they voted in favor of abortion access and rights.
These are the types of things that should be cited whenever people are having these discussions about national abortion rights stuff. Yo, people in these states are voting a certain way. There's a reason behind it. Let's get to the real details here.
Yeah, exactly. If California and Kansas and Kentucky agree on this, why are we listening to the people that disagree at that point?
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.